Organised crime is a risky, dangerous, but if done correctly, highly lucrative criminal career. Some mob bosses are treated with the same respect as celebrities despite the nature of their business. In this list, we'll be showing you 5 of the most notorious mobsters of all time. We would like to give a big shout out to viewer TrapLordGaming for suggesting this video. Number 5. James Burke. Irish-American gangster James Burke, also known as Jimmy the Gent and the Irishman, is probably most notorious for his role in the Lufthansa heist. He is also pretty famous for being portrayed by Robert De Niro in the film Goodfellas, although they used his actual birth name Conway rather than Burke. A classic mob film that gives you an insight into the Lucchese crime family in the 1970s. Burke was an associate of the Lucchese crime family, but not a full-made member due to his Irish ancestry. However, that didn't stop him from being well respected in his field. He was the mastermind behind the infamous Lufthansa heist that took place at the John F. Kennedy International Airport. The heist netted him and his associates around $2 million. However, he is also well known for being involved in many brutal murders, especially after the Lufthansa heist, as well as being sent down after fellow mobster Henry Hill became an FBI informant. Number 4. Frank Lucas. Another mobster made famous by a Hollywood film. This time the film in question is American Gangster, starring Denzel Washington as Frank Lucas. Originally from North Carolina, Lucas capitalized on his East Asian connections during the Vietnam War to gain control of the heroin trade. Sourcing heroin directly, he would stash the drugs into coffins and fly them to the US. At the peak of his business, he was reportedly making over $1 million a day. He was eventually caught and sentenced to prison. In 1991, he was released and has since tried to make amends for his actions and the damage caused from dealing drugs. Number 3. Al Capone. Al Capone is a name everyone knows and associates with the mafia. Born on January 17, 1899 in Brooklyn, New York, he was a smart young man that got pulled into the wrong crowd. He met gangster Johnny Torrio and quickly got involved with organized crime. Upon Torrio's retirement, Capone became the boss of the Chicago Mafia, taking control of prostitution, gambling and bootlegging rackets. During Prohibition, he flooded illegal alcohol onto the streets, making over $60 million a month. However, Capone is probably most famous for one of the most infamous gang hits in history, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. 7 rival gang members were brutally gunned down using 2 submachine guns. According to reports, they shot their victims left and right, even continuing to fire after all 7 had hit the floor. The 7 men were ripped apart in the volley, and 2 shotgun blasts afterwards obliterated the faces of John May and James Clark. Capone was untouchable and had numerous law enforcement, politicians, government officials and more on his payroll. However, eventually his luck did run out and he was arrested, serving 11 years in prison. He was released due to ill health and good behaviour, but died not long after at the age of 48. Number 2. Griselda Blanco. You may not have heard of Griselda Blanco, but she is known as the cocaine godmother for good reason. Born in Colombia in 1943, she grew up as a pickpocketer and prostitute before becoming a drug lord and working with the Medellin cartel. She helped smuggle cocaine from Colombia throughout the US, and even designed special clothing that could be used to import cocaine through US customs. She was known for countless murders and a huge narcotics operation based in Miami. At her peak, she was worth $2 billion, making her one of the most successful gangsters of all time. However, just like most gangsters, her luck ran out and she was arrested and served 10 years in prison. However, even inside, she was still continuing her drugs business. After prison, she returned to Colombia, where she was gunned down by 2 hitmen on motorbikes at the age of 69. Number 1. Pablo Escobar. Pablo Escobar was a gangster more powerful than presidents, with a net worth of around $30 billion thanks to founding and heading the Medellin cartel, which controlled over 80% of the cocaine in the US. Born in Colombia in 1949, he came from a poor family. He got involved with drugs and gangs at a young age, but was ruthless yet very business savvy. He formed the Medellin cartel in the 70s, importing large amounts of cocaine into the US. At one point, he was listed as the 7th richest person on earth. He is famous for being extremely ruthless. In fact, anyone that stood in his way was killed. This included numerous presidential candidates, thousands of law enforcement personnel, judges, witnesses, journalists, and more. Nobody was big enough or powerful enough for him to not assassinate. Although extremely powerful and worth $30 billion and making an estimated $60 million a day, even he couldn't escape the law for long enough. In a 15-month manhunt that costed hundreds of millions of dollars, they finally tracked him down. A gunfight broke out between him, his bodyguard, and Colombian National Police. He tried to flee by running across rooftops but was shot in the torso, leg, and finally through the ear and head. However, some say the police didn't fire the fatal shot. Instead, they say he committed suicide when he realized it was over. Thank you for watching, and if you have a video idea, why not leave a comment below, and if we make it, we'll give you a big shout out. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more awesome daily lists of all things 5. This is All 5, and until next time, feed your mind.